Celtics fans, we need your help. Over 78% of people that have watched our videos in the last month are not subscribed. Let's change that. If you're coming across this video, go down and subscribe to the channel for the best Boston Celtics coverage on the internet. I'm Will Scott. Welcome into Celtics Today. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about a familiar name and certainly an inspiring story. That would be Aron Baynes. And we'll get into his background here in a little bit in terms of what's been going on with him for the past year. But he has not played in the NBA in the last year because of a spinal cord injury that he suffered while at the 2020 Olympic Games. They were obviously played in 2021 in Tokyo. Brian Windhorst reported this over the weekend. A year after the freak fall at the Olympics left him unable to walk and in hospitals for months, veteran NBA center Aron Baynes has recovered and will work out for NBA teams tomorrow in Las Vegas. What a story and what a bounce back for Aron Baynes after that horrific injury that he suffered in Tokyo last year. Spinal cord injury when he fell in a bathroom during a game at the Olympics. So it didn't happen while he was playing in the game. He went to the bathroom, I guess, between the third and the fourth quarter and fell and had a spinal cord injury, very, very serious injury that left him unable to walk. He spent 2 months in the hospital having to learn how to walk again. A lot of people thought that he was never going to play basketball again, and here he is working out for NBA teams over the weekend, and by all accounts, it was a pretty solid workout that Baynes turned in. Now, do you want to sign Aron Baynes, someone who played for the Boston Celtics from 2017 to 2019? Type S for sign or type P for pass down in the comments section. It's the pinned comment on today's video. Go down and reply to it when you get a sec. Here's what Windhorst said in a story that he posted on ESPN.com. Baynes was knocked unconscious last July 28th when he fell in the bathroom where he'd gone during the fourth quarter of Australia's Olympic pool play game with Italy. When he came to, he had numbness in his limbs and couldn't walk. He was rushed to the hospital where scans showed internal bleeding was putting pressure on his spine. That was July 28th last year. This was over the weekend in Las Vegas. Unbelievable. We're rooting for Aron Baynes. We're so happy for him. And take a look at who retweeted that tweet. Jaylen Brown retweeted that tweet. Aron Baynes saying, back doing what I love, working out for NBA teams over the weekend in Las Vegas. Hopeful for another NBA opportunity. Here's what Evan Valenti said about Aron Baynes. Valenti covers the C's. The connection between Baynes and the Celtics makes a lot of sense because Boston is looking for one more big man for their roster. That's really the only thing they need at this point. Here's what Baynes did the last time we saw him on a basketball floor in the NBA. 6.1 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, about a half a block per game for the Toronto Raptors over the course of the 2020 the 21 season. Of course, before that, he played for the Celtics from 2017 to 2019. So Baynes at the start of the offseason was not really someone who we saw as an option as a backup center, but now it is, and I think this needs to happen. Bring this guy back to Boston. He was great for the Celtics, not just what he did on the floor, but his locker room presence. This guy is beloved by his former players, but by his fellow players, by the coaches he's been with, by the fans. Let me tell you, I would love, love, love to see Baynes back in Boston. He wants another chance in the NBA after that horrific injury. The Celtics need a backup center. Let's make it happen. Here's what an NBA scout said to Steve Pulpit of Heavy.com about the Baynes workout in Las Vegas over the weekend. He came to play. He can play now. I'm not sure he's all the way back or all the way to where he's going to be with more time, but from what I saw today, he can help a team. So if you had to pick one center to sign, we've talked about some of these guys, who would you sign? Type AB for Aron Baynes, type LA for LaMarcus Aldridge, type HW for Hassan Whiteside, or type DH for Dwight Howard. All of these guys are available in free agency. All are solid options. Obviously, with Baynes, the concern would be the health, but by all accounts, he is healthy. He's been medically cleared by doctors, and he was working out in Vegas for NBA teams over the weekend. With Howard, he's not going to be back in L.A., it appears, after the Thomas Bryant signing. Of course, Bryant was looking at the Celtics. He opted not to sign with the C's. Whiteside might be my favorite out of those four. I would be happy, I think, though, with either Baynes or Whiteside. Those would be my top two targets if I was Brad Stevens and the Celtics right now. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned because we're going to be breaking down any moves that might come to be. Let's talk about Malcolm Brogdon. He hopped on Adrian Wojnarowski's podcast. Of course, Woj works for ESPN. He's got this podcast. But first, I want to tell you about this great deal we're giving you here at Chat Sports. You can go get this Jason Tatum jersey on sale now for a limited time at chatsports.com/Tatum. That's the link right there. It's going to be in the comments and in the description of this video. Go support JT. Pick up your Tatum jersey at chatsports.com/Tatum. We don't have the Malcolm Brogdon jerseys yet. When we have them, I promise you we'll be promoting them on the channel. But the trade is now official. It became official over the weekend, that trade with Indiana that sent several players to the Pacers and Brogdon to the C's. So Brogdon is now a Boston Celtic. The Gallinari news became official over the weekend as well. So Gallinari and Brogdon, those roster moves now official. Brogdon, after it became official, went on the Woj Pod. Here is what he had to say. Brad Stevens, I think, did have a conversation with my agent and talked about me coming to Boston and embracing a sixth-man role. If I wanted to come to Boston, that'd be one of the things that I needed to embrace. And for me, I've made a lot of money. I've won in Milwaukee. I won some in Indiana. But I really want to get back to winning on a high level. I want to win a championship. So whatever I can sacrifice to get back to that championship level, I'm willing to do it and compete. This was great to hear, right? Because obviously one of the storylines of Brogdon coming was he willing to become a sixth man? Because this is a starting caliber point guard. This is a very, very high-level scorer you're talking about in Brogdon. But if you start Brogdon, you're probably going to have to bench one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in the NBA in Marcus Smart. So it does appear that Brogdon's going to be coming off the bench. I did find it very, very interesting, though, in listening to that podcast, which you can obviously go back and listen as well. But I thought it was very, very interesting when Brogdon brought up the fact that Stevens reached out to Brogdon's agent and is basically like, yeah, this trade is possible, but is Malcolm willing to be a sixth man? So before that trade even happened, what Brad did behind the scenes was make sure that Brogdon was okay with being a sixth man. Of course, he is. Now he's in Boston, ready to compete for a championship. That was really good to hear on the Woj Pod. Thanks for watching this edition of Celtics Today. Go down in the comments section. Let me know what you think of really everything going on with the C's right now. Baynes, Brogdon, go down, give me your thoughts. And you can hit me up on Twitter. Give me your thoughts as well, at WillScott44. Do want to give a shout-out to the Noti Gang. Appreciate you commenting Noti Gang on a recent video. We got Drew Walden, Frank Rizzo, Jack O'Neal, Jess, and Manny Roberts as well. Appreciate you all subscribing to the channel and turning on those notifications. Hit that notification bell because whenever we put out a video, you're going to get an alert on your phone. So let's say the Celtics sign Aron Baynes and you're out doing whatever and aren't in the loop. Well, that's where we come in for you. That's where that notification bell is clutch because you're going to get a notification on your phone as soon as any Celtics news or rumors go down.